So lads, so video today is just about how you can go about calculating your macros, whether that comes to bulking or cutting. Some of you watching might know most of this information or you might not know any of it, but it's good to know all the basics of calculating your macros so you know what you should actually be aiming for when it comes to your nutrition. The first thing that it always comes down to is understanding what your current nutrition is actually like. So as I was saying in the intro there, a lot of you will already track your food and have a pretty good idea what you're taking in on a daily basis already. But let's be real, most people out there have no fucking idea how many calories, how much protein they have on a daily basis. If this is you, what I want you to do is create a log of everything you eat for an entire week. So every time you have something, no matter how big or how small, write the time beside it and track in exactly what you have. Bonus points if you can weigh out the food on a digital scale as well. So you want to be as accurate as possible with this. So you can go back then, maybe log it all in on a food tracking app like MyFitnessPal, obviously the most popular one. You've probably heard of it before or you probably use it already. Log in all your food on there, see what your average protein and your average calories are for the week, and that's going to give you a pretty good idea of where you should be aiming going forward. So obviously then, once you already know how you're eating at the minute, you want to identify what your main goal is. So chances are, if you're watching this video, your main goal is probably body composition related. So you want to build muscle or you want to lose some body fat. Now, in my opinion, most people should be bulking first instead of cutting. That'll make up the majority of people who are starting out in the gym or starting to track their food properly. The only reason that I wouldn't bulk instead of cutting first is if you're actually overweight. Then in that case, obviously cut down the body fat a little bit and then you can start to bulk up and add on more muscle mass. But not to say you can't be already gaining a little bit of muscle mass while you're in that cutting stage at the start. For a bulk, I think you'd want to go no more than a 200 calorie surplus. So you'll figure out your calories from the previous step, add 200 on top of that, and that's as high as you'd want to go. Much higher than a 200 calorie surplus, you're just going to be adding on majority fat, to be honest. 200 is more than enough to maximise your muscle growth. For a cut as well, I'd start out small, so I'd go 200 again, just obviously in a deficit this time. So start it off easy and you can go more aggressive down the line. You can start cutting the calories that little bit more once you start to plateau, and you can start to speed up your results a little bit that way. But definitely get used to it at the start with a smaller deficit. So weight gain, you would want to be at a kind of a slower rate than you would do with weight loss. So that's why I was saying keep the calorie surplus pretty minimal for the bulk. I'm bulking at the minute and I'm trying to gain no more than around a kilo a month. So it is really slow. It is very tedious looking at the scales from week to week, seeing it like only creeping up. But again, you want to minimise that fat gain and you know you're going to be maximising your muscle growth once you're in a slight surplus. Weight loss can happen a little bit quicker than weight gain, because again, weight gain, if you're gaining weight very quickly, it's just going to be fat. It's much easier to lose fat than it is to build muscle. So weight loss, it depends on what kind of deficit you're in. If you're in a 500 calorie deficit, you're going to be losing about half a kilo a week. So again, start off small, maybe build up to that over time. So last cut I done, I was on average looking to lose about 2.5 kilos a month. So that's in and around that 500-600 calorie deficit once I obviously started off small, as I said in the previous tip. So now that your calories are sorted, it's time to break down the actual macronutrients. So obviously you've got protein, you've got carbohydrates, and you've got fat. Protein is by far the most important when it comes to body composition. So always make sure you have a target for your protein intake and make sure you're staying consistent and hitting it. A good target for your protein intake is 2 grams per kg of your body weight daily. So for example, if you weigh 80 kg, you want to be aiming for in and around 160 grams of protein a day. In and around that, a little bit more, a little bit less isn't really going to tip the scales too much, but make sure it's in and around that and don't deviate too much from that. Try and keep that to the average for the week. Coming on to fats and carbs then, they're obviously very important for many essential functions in the body. Carbohydrates gives you the majority of your energy for training and stuff like that, and fats are essential for hormone production. But when it comes to body composition, the ratio that you're actually having carbs and fats in don't really matter that much. But you should know that protein has 4 calories per gram, same with carbohydrates, but fats has 9 calories per gram. So you can kind of dictate that and mess around with it depending on what your goals are. Me personally, I just kind of balance them out, make sure I'm getting a good amount of each. I don't go high carb, low fat or vice versa. And the most important thing you can do, as with anything, is just to remain consistent with this. The biggest problem I see people run into, especially when they're starting on their fitness journey, is letting the weekend fuck them over. When you think about it like this, it really opens your eyes. Friday, Saturday and Sunday makes up 43% of your week. It's only 57% of your week from Monday through Thursday. So I've had many clients before who are pretty flawless during the week. They do absolutely brilliant Monday to Friday even. And then Saturday and Sunday it kind of all goes out the window. The tracking stops and the routine is completely gone. So you can be perfect 4 or 5 days of the week. If you're messing up on the other 2 or 3, it's really going to cost you. If you're going out drinking at the weekend, a good tactic to use is calorie banking. So say your goal is to lose weight and your weight loss calories are 2,000 a day. Maybe Monday through Friday, you could cut the calories down to maybe 1,800. So over the 5 days, then you're saving 1,000 calories. So you can throw 1,000 calories then extra on top of your, say, Saturday intake if that's the day you're going out, and you've got a lot more calories to play around with then that day. Because if you're not using little tactics like this and trying to manipulate your calories throughout the week, then your weekend is just going to absolutely destroy your progress. And just a side note as well, just know when it comes to alcohol, the more you drink it, the more your results are going to suffer. It's not to say that it doesn't have a place, but just know that it's going to hold you back. And in terms of being consistent, you're just never going to get results without being consistent. You can have the best training plan in the world, the best diet plan in the world, you can get the best recovery in the world, but if you're only doing it 3 or 4 days a week, you're never going to get anywhere with it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the basics of tracking your macros and calculating them. So if you have any questions, just shoot them over in the comment section. And if you like the video, like and subscribe as always, and I'll see you in the next one.